Hello and welcome to the Good Imaginations podcast. Tonight, we will journey to a bookstore in a thunderstorm, where you can unwind, reorient yourself, and if you would like, fall fast asleep. Before we begin our adventure, make sure you're settled. If you are seated, get comfortable. Listen to your spine and relax your shoulders. If you are lying down, get your covers and pillow where you want them. Create your nest. Very good. Now, take 3 deep breaths with me in preparation for the journey ahead. Let go of your day and travel to a vacation for your mind. Imagine with me. See, smell, and be present. Breathe with me now. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow and even. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, shut your eyes and let's drift off to the site of tonight's adventure. You're out for a walk in a European city, a cappuccino warm in your hands. Beside you in the road, little cars and scooters zoom past, narrowly missing you on the narrow sidewalk you travel. The sidewalk is made of old cobblestones, round and uneven, and while you love the aesthetic, you have to admit they're a bit hard on the feet. At least the ground isn't slippery. You're not sure where you're going or what to do next, but you're enjoying that. You have no plan and no agenda, and need, by necessity, be nowhere. You take another sip of your cappuccino, and that's when the first drop of rain hits your nose. My goodness, that's sudden. It's heavy and wet, and once it bounds into your nose, it sprays left and right like freckles. You rub your nose in dismay, then look up at the sky. Huge, deep blue clouds are rolling in. It's going to rain, and it's going to rain a lot. You're shocked by the suddenness. Then you remember that you have a small umbrella in your backpack, and you get it out. You'll be all right, you think? Nope. The rain arrives in sheets. Like a grey swarm of bees, it charges down out of the sky. The droplets bounce up a foot in the air, and within seconds, your shoes and pants legs are soaked. Crumbs. From the torrential staccato on top of your umbrella, you fear it is going to burst like a grape. You scurry down the road, into the inch-deep puddles, and you slosh past a boutique. The woman inside gives you an unfriendly eye. Well, my goodness, you didn't want your eyebrows threaded anyway. You pass a bakery, which looks nice, but the owner is guarding the door with a pained expression. The third shop you come across is, oh, glorious day, a bookstore. With latticed front windows and a shop sign that's painted on a huge swirling ribbon of wood. You love the sign. It is clearly very old, with cracking paint. The background is cream-colored, the letters are blackish-brown, and you can almost see someone in a powdered wig and spectacles bending over it with a brush. The window displays vintage books, on shelving units that go 6 feet up. 10-foot ceilings in this place, at least. You're excited. You love a good tall ceiling. You fold your umbrella and survey the shop for just a second in the torrent of rain. The front step is sheltered by the second floor, and it's a sturdy 5 inches above the ground. You step up, and immediately your feet leave the puddle you've been standing in. You are no longer being rained on. The bricks above protect you. You take a moment to turn around and inhale. There's an ocean out there, but you've suddenly found a shore. You flutter your umbrella back and forth until the droplets fling themselves off. Then you thump your shoes. Although you're not sure why, your pants legs will be soaked for the next hour. Then, feeling nervous somehow, like you're about to meet someone very important. You open the old shop door. Your fingers curl around the thin brass handle, and your fingertips press against an old ivy pattern that was worked into the metal. You feel the heft of the ancient wooden door, and you admire the plum-colored paint on its surface. After that, you push, and you are in the bookstore. It smells as much like a bakery as it does a bookstore, and you also think you smell watercolor paints. To be honest, you also smell rain, the thunderstorm smell, and the fresh burst of greenery is still very strong in the shop. The ceilings are tall. You knew it, almost 15 feet. The shop is only about 20 feet across, and you like that it's a kind of corridor of books. The walls are, of course, all bookcases, but there's nothing haphazard or cheap about them, the way the bookcases are in some of your favorite hole-in-the-wall bookstores back home. You love this, too. These bookcases were built hundreds of years ago, with a posh customer in mind. They are dark wood, polished, 10 feet high, perfectly uniform, with embellishments at the top, and they go back forever. Each shelf is filled with books of every age and color, and you can smell them. You haven't picked up a single book, but you can already smell the ink and the old pages, hear the whisper of the pages whisking suddenly from side to side. The bookstore is quiet. You are not the only customer, which cheers you. If you were the only one, this might have been a bit awkward, but clearly customers are left to their own devices to wander around. You hear a few soft sounds as you gaze across the bookshop. An old record player is playing music from the 40s, very quiet and a little scratchy. A customer at the back ruffles through a book. A customer at the front yawns. The main thing you hear is the hiss of the rain on the roof and windows, and the crackle of a large fireplace that rests at the center of the shop. How wonderful! It's a double fireplace, twice as wide as the ones you're used to. Real logs snap with yellow flames and ooze with crimson light. A hound is lying in front of the fireplace. He looks up, ears twitching as you enter, then plops his head down lazily. Oh ho! You are no threat, it seems. The hound yawns as wide as he can, with his pink and grey tongue curling. Then he smacks his lips and settles down again in front of the fire. You decide to take one step into the shop, and then the old man, silent and almost camouflaged behind the huge mahogany counter until now, snaps, "Umbrella at the door, please, umbrella at the door." You turn, and there is a large brass umbrella stand. You pop your umbrella into it, feeling relieved. Now you don't have to carry it around. You stride into the shop, and you stop in front of the fire. The hound smiles and pants at you. You smile at the hound. The radiating warmth is already drying your pants. You see at the back of the bookstore there is a small bakery and tea shop. On top of the fireplace mantel, ready for perusal, is a large collection of poetry. Well, you are going to be just fine.